Picture this: a freezing January night in 1943, the streets of Manhattan muffled by the winter chill. In a corner suite of the New Yorker hotel, Nikola Tesla, perhaps the greatest inventor to ever walk the earth, lies lifeless in his bed. Alone, forgotten, the man who brought the world alternating current and dreamt of free energy for all is now just another name on a coroner's list. But the story doesn't end there. In fact, this is where it begins. Within hours of Tesla's death, a flurry of activity erupts. Federal agents, moving with unprecedented speed, raid his room. They seize every scrap of paper he left behind: diaries, schematics, blueprints. To the untrained eye, these might seem like the eccentric musings of an aging scientist. But to those in the know, Tesla's papers are a Pandora's box of untapped potential and perhaps unimaginable danger. Rumors begin to swirl. Among the confiscated documents, whispers say, was it designed for a weapon so powerful it could change the course of history? Tesla called it the death ray, a machine capable of annihilating entire armies, rendering nations defenseless, and reshaping the balance of global power in a single devastating moment. The media called it a fantasy. Governments, it seems, were less skeptical. But here's the question you need to ask yourself. Why did the US government act with such urgency? What were they so desperate to hide or to protect? And why, decades later, are parts of Tesla's archives still classified, locked away from public view? Could it be that Tesla's death ray wasn't just a figment of his imagination, but a real, viable invention? And if so, where is it now? Let's go back to that night. Imagine federal agents combing through Tesla's belongings, their faces illuminated by dim hotel lights as they sift through decades of brilliance. Was it paranoia driving their actions, or fear of what might happen if this knowledge fell into the wrong hands? After all, this was a time when the world was on the brink of chaos. World War II raged across continents, and the race for superior weaponry was paramount. Could Tesla's death ray have been the ultimate prize? And consider this. Tesla himself once said, "With this invention, I have eliminated war." A bold claim, but one that raises a chilling possibility. Was this device truly a weapon of peace? Or a weapon too terrible for humanity to wield responsibly? History is littered with the consequences of men tampering with forces they don't fully understand. Could Tesla's death ray have been one of those forces? Tonight, we're diving into the heart of this enigma. This isn't just the story of Nikola Tesla's brilliance. It's the story of secrets buried in plain sight. A story of genius clashing with fear, of invention overshadowed by conspiracy. Was Tesla silenced? Was his legacy stolen? And most hauntingly of all, was the death ray real? As we unravel the layers of this mystery, one thing becomes clear. The truth about Nikola Tesla and his death ray could reshape everything we think we know about the limits of human ingenuity, and the dark lengths to which people will go to control it. Buckle up. This is not a tale for the faint of heart. What you're about to hear might change the way you see history, power, and perhaps even the future. Nikola Tesla was no ordinary man. Born in 1856 in a small village in modern-day Croatia, Tesla's mind seemed to operate on a different plane of existence. From an early age, he displayed a near-supernatural ability to visualize his inventions with staggering detail. Unlike other inventors, Tesla didn't just sketch his ideas. He could mentally construct, test, and refine them, all without lifting a pen. By the time he arrived in the United States in 1884, he was already a man with a mission: to revolutionize the way humanity harnessed energy. It wasn't long before Tesla's genius caught the attention of powerful figures. He began working with Thomas Edison, the celebrated Wizard of Menlo Park, but their collaboration quickly soured. Edison, pragmatic and profit-driven, dismissed Tesla's ideas as outlandish and impractical. Tesla, in turn, regarded Edison as short-sighted and unwilling to embrace the future. This rivalry culminated in the infamous War of the Currents, a battle over which electrical system would power the modern world. Edison championed direct current (DC), while Tesla backed alternating current (AC), a system far more efficient for long-distance power transmission. In the end, Tesla triumphed, but his victory was bittersweet. While AC became the global standard, Tesla's ambitions stretched far beyond what his contemporaries could comprehend. He envisioned a world where energy flowed wirelessly, freely available to all, a revolutionary idea that challenged the very foundation of the energy industry. And that's where the seeds of his obsession began to take root. Tesla wasn't just an inventor. He was a man driven by a near mystical belief in the power of energy. He once said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." This philosophy guided his work, leading him to explore the boundaries of what was scientifically possible, and sometimes what seemed impossible. Take his experiments with high-frequency currents in the 1890s, for instance. In his Colorado Springs laboratory, Tesla created artificial lightning bolts that stretched for miles, reportedly causing the lights in a neighboring town to flicker. He claimed to have built devices that could melt tools from a distance and transmit energy through the Earth itself. These experiments weren't just demonstrations of his brilliance, they were glimpses into a mind willing to push beyond the known limits of science. But with brilliance often comes eccentricity, and Tesla was no exception. He became obsessed with numbers, particularly 3, 6, and 9, believing they held the key to unlocking the universe. He avoided handshakes, refused to touch hair, and reportedly walked around his block 3 times before entering a building. Yet despite, or perhaps because of these peculiarities, Tesla remained a figure of fascination. To his supporters, he was a visionary. To his critics, he was a mad scientist. It was during this period of relentless experimentation that Tesla began to toy with a dangerous idea: harnessing energy as a weapon. His writings suggest that he believed energy, when properly focused, could be used to destroy as well as create. Imagine Tesla, alone in his lab, surrounded by the hum of machinery and the crackle of artificial lightning. In those moments, was he building the foundation for his death ray? And here's where the story takes a darker turn. Tesla's experiments weren't confined to safe, controlled environments. He spoke of devices that could direct powerful bursts of energy with devastating precision. Some witnesses claim to have seen tools disintegrate in his lab, while others described sparks leaping from wires to distant objects. Was Tesla merely pushing the boundaries of physics, or was he, as some feared, playing with forces no man should wield? By the early 20th century, Tesla's work began to shift in a new direction. He became increasingly secretive, hinting in interviews and public lectures about inventions that could change the course of history. Among them was a device he called Teleforce, a machine he claimed could unleash a concentrated beam of energy capable of obliterating any target. He described it as a weapon so powerful it would make war obsolete. And yet, he never revealed its full design, perhaps out of fear, or perhaps because he knew the world wasn't ready. This was the mind of Nikola Tesla. Brilliant, enigmatic, and haunted by the question that has plagued visionaries throughout history. Should the power to destroy be entrusted to humanity? Or should it be hidden away, too dangerous to ever see the light of day? By the 1930s, Tesla's genius was already the stuff of legend, but his career had taken a strange and unsettling turn. Once celebrated as a hero of science, he now lived as a recluse, his eccentricities overshadowing his achievements in the public eye. Yet Tesla wasn't finished. Even as he retreated from the spotlight, he claimed to have developed a weapon that could alter the course of human history. A particle beam device he called Teleforce, but which the media would famously dub the death ray. Tesla first revealed the concept in a series of cryptic interviews, tantalizing the world with glimpses of its potential. He described Teleforce as a machine that could project energy particles with such velocity and precision that it could strike targets hundreds of miles away. He claimed it could destroy aircraft, disable tanks, and obliterate entire battalions. But Tesla's vision didn't end there. He insisted that the death ray wasn't a weapon of aggression, but a tool of peace, a device so powerful it would render war unthinkable. With this invention, he declared, I have eliminated war. Tesla's confidence was magnetic, but his claims sparked a firestorm of skepticism and fear. Headlines around the world sensationalized the idea of the death ray, framing it as both a marvel of science and a harbinger of destruction. Governments took notice too. It was the interwar period, a time of fragile alliances and mounting tensions. The idea of a superweapon that could tip the balance of power was enough to send shockwaves through military and political circles. So what was Teleforce? Tesla provided just enough detail to stir the imagination while withholding its most critical components. He explained that the device relied on 4 key elements: a particle generator to create the energy beam, a method of amplifying that energy, a high-voltage power source, and a mechanism to direct the beam with pinpoint accuracy. He claimed it could strike with such force that it would disintegrate matter on impact, making it a weapon of terrifying efficiency. But there was a catch, or so Tesla claimed. The device required an immense amount of power to function, and its construction demanded materials and precision that only a handful of nations could afford. Tesla used this to his advantage, offering to share the design only under specific conditions. He approached the US, the UK, and even the Soviet Union, proposing his invention as a means of maintaining global peace. To some, this was evidence of Tesla's altruism. To others, it was a dangerous gamble. As the media frenzy grew, so did the speculation. Was Tesla truly in possession of a revolutionary technology, or was this a desperate bid for attention from an aging inventor? The scientific community was divided. Some dismissed the death ray as a fantastical impossibility, while others warned that Tesla's brilliance made the unthinkable entirely plausible. The ambiguity only added to the intrigue. But here's where the story takes a conspiratorial turn. Despite his public offers to sell the technology, Tesla was notoriously secretive about its design. He hinted that he had conducted successful tests, but never demonstrated the device publicly. And then, just as suddenly as he had revealed its existence, Tesla went silent. Some say he abandoned the project due to lack of funding. Others suggest he was pressured, or even threatened, into keeping it hidden. Whatever the truth, the death ray remained shrouded in mystery, its potential unproven, its power unverified. Yet the questions linger. If Tesla's death ray was merely a flight of fancy, why were governments so interested in his work? Why did they allow him to live in relative obscurity, only to seize his papers the moment he died? And if the death ray was real, who holds its secrets now? One thing is certain. Tesla's death ray wasn't just a weapon. It was a symbol of the boundless potential and the dark dangers of human ingenuity. Could it have changed the world for the better? Or would it have been the key to its destruction? As we dig deeper into Tesla's life and the events surrounding his death, the answers may be more unsettling than you expect. To understand the full scope of Nikola Tesla's ambitions and the mysteries surrounding his death ray, you have to visit a quiet stretch of Long Island, New York. There, in 1901, Tesla began constructing what he called the Wardenclyffe Tower. Officially, it was designed to be a wireless communication and energy transmission station, a project funded by industrialist J.P. Morgan. But Wardenclyffe, like Tesla himself, had a dual nature. To the outside world, it was a bold leap toward global connectivity. To Tesla, it may have been something far more secretive and far more dangerous. Rising 187 feet into the sky, Wardenclyffe Tower was an engineering marvel of its time. Tesla claimed it could transmit wireless electricity across vast distances by harnessing the Earth's natural electrical charge. He envisioned a future where energy flowed freely to every corner of the globe, eliminating the need for cables, power lines, or even centralized energy grids. It was a dream as audacious as it was noble. Free energy for all. But Tesla's true intentions for Wardenclyffe remain an enigma. Here's where things get interesting. Some researchers believe Wardenclyffe was more than just an energy transmitter. They argue it was Tesla's first attempt to build a working prototype of the death ray. The tower's design incorporated high-voltage components capable of generating and focusing massive amounts of energy. Tesla himself hinted in interviews that Wardenclyffe could be repurposed for defensive or offensive purposes, describing it as a device that could send concentrated beams of energy to a distant point. Local reports from the time add another layer of intrigue. Residents around Wardenclyffe described strange phenomena, eerie humming noises, flashes of light in the night sky, and even unexplained disturbances in the behavior of animals. Some claimed to see Tesla working late into the night, his figure silhouetted against the tower as arcs of lightning danced around him. To the public, these were the eccentricities of a brilliant mind at work. To others, they were signs of something much more secretive. But Tesla's work at Wardenclyffe didn't last long. By 1905, funding for the project dried up, largely due to Tesla's refusal to compromise his vision. J.P. Morgan, frustrated by Tesla's fixation on free energy, a concept that promised no financial return, pulled his support. Without the backing of his wealthy benefactor, Tesla was forced to abandon Wardenclyffe. The tower, a testament to his ambition, stood idle for years, a monument to unrealized potential. Then, in 1917, Wardenclyffe was dismantled under the guise of financial insolvency. The official explanation was straightforward. The property was sold, and the tower was scrapped for materials. But conspiracy theorists see a more sinister motive. They argue that the tower posed a threat to powerful interests, energy monopolies that couldn't afford a world where electricity was free, and governments wary of a technology that could be weaponized. Was Wardenclyffe destroyed to bury Tesla's death ray along with it? Or was it dismantled to ensure that no one, not even Tesla, could unlock its potential? Imagine for a moment Tesla standing at the base of Wardenclyffe Tower on the night it was completed. He gazes up at the structure, his mind racing with possibilities. Is he envisioning a world powered by clean, limitless energy, or a weapon so devastating it could reshape geopolitics in an instant? We'll never know for sure. But the dismantling of Wardenclyffe marked the end of one chapter in Tesla's life and the beginning of a new one, defined by secrecy, speculation, and the shadowy legacy of the death ray. And yet, the question remains. If Wardenclyffe truly was the key to Tesla's most ambitious and dangerous ideas, did he leave behind more than just blueprints? Did he succeed in testing the death ray even in secret? Or was the tower's potential buried with its rubble, forever lost to history? As we move closer to the final years of Tesla's life, the answers become even more elusive, and the mystery even darker. As Nikola Tesla entered the twilight of his life, the world seemed to forget the man who had once promised to electrify the globe. Once celebrated as a visionary, Tesla became a recluse, spending his days feeding pigeons in Manhattan's parks and his nights in the confines of a small hotel room. Yet, even in his isolation, Tesla's mind continued to churn with ideas he claimed could still change the course of human history. But were these just the musings of an aging inventor, or the guarded secrets of a man who knew too much? Tesla's later years were marked by a growing sense of paranoia. He confided to close acquaintances that he was being watched, claiming foreign spies were after his work. Some dismissed these fears as the product of his eccentricity, but Tesla had reason to be cautious. He was, after all, living in a world on the brink of World War II, a world where nations were desperate for technological advantages. And Tesla's work, even in its most speculative forms, remained tantalizingly ahead of its time. On January 7, 1943, Tesla was found dead in his room at the New Yorker hotel. The official cause was coronary thrombosis, a natural death for a man of his age. But rumors of foul play quickly emerged. Some whispered that Tesla had been silenced, his death conveniently timed to coincide with the wartime race for technological supremacy. After all, if Tesla truly possessed the secrets of the death ray, wouldn't it have been in the interest of certain powers to ensure those secrets didn't fall into the wrong hands? What happened next only deepened the mystery. Within hours of Tesla's death, agents from the Office of Alien Property Custodian arrived at the hotel. They confiscated every document Tesla had left behind, packing his papers, blueprints, and personal effects into crates that were whisked away to an undisclosed location. Among those tasked with reviewing Tesla's work was John G. Trump, a respected government physicist, and notably, the uncle of future President Donald Trump. After examining Tesla's files, John Trump publicly dismissed their significance, stating they contained nothing of value from a practical standpoint. But was this the truth, or a carefully crafted narrative to deflect attention? Here's where things take a conspiratorial turn. Tesla's family later claimed that many of his papers were never returned, and some were reportedly missing even before federal agents arrived. Declassified FBI files reveal that the government did find Tesla's work intriguing enough to investigate further, particularly his alleged designs for advanced weaponry. Portions of these files remain redacted to this day, fueling speculation about what might still be hidden from public view. And it wasn't just the US that took an interest. Reports suggest that Soviet agents attempted to obtain Tesla's documents, fearing that his inventions could give their rivals an insurmountable edge. Could Tesla's death ray, or the principles behind it, have been quietly absorbed into classified military projects, fueling the technological arms race of the 20th century? And if so, how much of Tesla's genius lives on in the hidden corners of modern warfare? But the most chilling question is this: if Tesla's work was truly harmless, as some officials claimed, why were such extraordinary measures taken to secure it? Why the secrecy? And why do so many of Tesla's papers remain unaccounted for? Could it be that Tesla's most dangerous invention, the death ray, wasn't just an idea, but a reality too dangerous to ever be revealed? As the story of Tesla's death unfolds, it becomes clear that this is about more than just one man's genius. It's about the lengths to which those in power will go to control knowledge, and the fear of what might happen if that knowledge were unleashed. With Tesla gone, his secrets buried, and his legacy shrouded in conspiracy, we're left to wonder, did we lose the chance to understand one of the most brilliant minds in history, or did we narrowly avoid a Pandora's box that could never be closed? In the aftermath of Tesla's death, the US government's swift and secretive actions fueled decades of speculation. The files seized from his hotel room were purportedly analyzed and then deemed of little consequence. But how much of that explanation can be trusted? Declassified FBI documents and ongoing revelations suggest a far more complicated story, one that raises questions about government agendas, hidden technologies, and the shadowy intersection of science and power. The FBI files on Tesla are a cryptic and fragmented collection. They mention advanced technologies and potentially disruptive inventions, yet much of the content remains redacted, buried under layers of classification. To conspiracy theorists, these redactions are not just omissions. They're a roadmap to the secrets the government doesn't want us to uncover. Could Tesla's designs have been deemed too dangerous to reveal? And if so, what else might be hidden alongside them? Consider the timing. Tesla's death in 1943 came in the midst of World War II, a period when nations were desperate for technological superiority. The development of radar, jet engines, and even the atomic bomb highlighted the critical role of science in determining the outcome of the war. Tesla's death ray, if it existed, would have been a game changer, a weapon capable of destroying fleets and armies with surgical precision. It's no stretch to imagine that governments might have seen Tesla's work as a potential treasure trove of untapped military applications. And Tesla wasn't exactly a patriot in the traditional sense. His offers to share the death ray's design weren't exclusive to the United States. Tesla reportedly approached several nations, including the US, the UK, and even the Soviet Union, proposing his invention as a means of maintaining global peace. But was this altruism, or a desperate plea for funding in his later years? Whatever his motives, Tesla's willingness to engage multiple governments may have put him in a precarious position, making him a person of interest to intelligence agencies around the world. Some theorists argue that Tesla's ideas were quietly absorbed into classified projects. One compelling example is the Strategic Defense Initiative, SDI, known as Star Wars, a Cold War-era program focused on advanced missile defense technologies. While officially unrelated to Tesla, the concept of using directed energy to intercept and neutralize threats bears a striking resemblance to his particle beam weapon. Could SDI have been inspired, at least in part, by Tesla's work? And if so, what other classified projects might owe their origins to his forgotten blueprints? Another potential connection lies with HAARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, a controversial research facility often associated with conspiracy theories about weather control and electromagnetic weaponry. Some believe HAARP's technology aligns with Tesla's concepts of wireless energy transmission and directed energy weapons. Is this a case of coincidence, or yet another thread in a web of secrecy? The intrigue doesn't stop at the US borders. There are stories of Soviet agents attempting to recover Tesla's lost work, fearing that his death ray could tip the scales in the West's favor. Some accounts suggest that fragments of Tesla's designs may have made their way to Moscow, potentially influencing Soviet research into directed energy weapons. If true, this would mean that Tesla's legacy didn't just disappear. It was fractured, scattered among rival superpowers, fueling decades of covert experimentation. But here's the most tantalizing question of all. If Tesla's death ray was real, could it still exist today? Is it hidden in a vault, waiting to be rediscovered? Or was it quietly developed into a weapon we don't yet understand? And if such a weapon does exist, who holds the trigger? Governments? Corporations? Or shadowy organizations operating beyond public oversight? As we unravel the layers of this conspiracy, one thing becomes clear. Tesla's death ray wasn't just a scientific curiosity, it was a symbol of humanity's unending struggle to balance innovation with control. Whether it was suppressed to protect the world, or to concentrate power in the hands of the few, the truth about Tesla's death ray remains one of history's greatest enigmas. And perhaps that's exactly the way some people want it. As with all great mysteries, Tesla's death ray has its fair share of skeptics. While the story of a superweapon capable of reshaping global power is undeniably compelling, many scientists and historians argue that the evidence simply doesn't add up. Was Tesla's death ray a real invention, or was it the product of an overactive imagination in his later years? And if the technology was truly as groundbreaking as claimed, why has no verifiable prototype ever surfaced? The scientific skepticism is grounded in practical limitations. For one, the technology of Tesla's time lacked the materials and precision needed to construct such a device. Even today, particle beam weapons remain in the realm of experimental research, requiring enormous amounts of energy and intricate engineering. Could Tesla, working with the resources available in the early 20th century, have really achieved what modern physicists still struggle to accomplish? Then there's the lack of physical evidence. Despite Tesla's claims and the dramatic seizure of his papers, no working model of the death ray has ever been uncovered. This absence of proof has led some to dismiss the death ray as a product of Tesla's eccentricity, a bold, if exaggerated idea meant to attract attention or funding. After all, Tesla was known for making grandiose claims, some of which never came to fruition. Could the death ray be just another example of his visionary thinking outpacing the technology of his time? But here's where the skepticism takes a curious turn. Some theorists argue that the lack of evidence isn't proof of the death ray's non-existence, it's evidence of a cover-up. They point to the government's seizure of Tesla's papers and the redacted FBI files as deliberate acts to obscure the truth. After all, if the death ray were truly implausible, why would such extraordinary measures have been taken to secure and classify Tesla's work? Was the death ray hidden to protect humanity, or to consolidate power in the hands of a few? And what about the media's role in shaping public perception? In the years following Tesla's death, sensational headlines and conspiracy theories flourished, often outpacing the facts. Could these stories have been encouraged, or even planted, to distract from the real truth? Some suggest that the government may have deliberately allowed rumors of the death ray to persist, creating a smokescreen that obscured more tangible aspects of Tesla's work. By focusing public attention on an unproven superweapon, were they diverting scrutiny from technologies that were actually being developed in secret? This brings us to a larger question. How do conspiracy theories thrive in the absence of concrete evidence? Human psychology plays a significant role. When faced with gaps in the historical record, our minds are quick to fill in the blanks, often with the most dramatic possibilities. Tesla's genius, combined with the mysterious circumstances of his death and the seizure of his papers, creates the perfect storm for speculation. But is that speculation a natural response, or the result of deliberate manipulation? The truth may lie somewhere in between. Perhaps Tesla's death ray was an unworkable concept that never left the drawing board. Or perhaps fragments of his designs were quietly integrated into classified research, their original purpose lost to time. Either way, the story of Tesla's death ray reveals as much about humanity's thirst for power and control as it does about the limits of innovation. And yet the unanswered questions remain. Why were Tesla's papers never fully returned to his family? Why do portions of the FBI's files on Tesla remain classified? And why does the legend of the death ray continue to captivate the imagination long after Tesla's passing? In the end, skepticism may temper the grandiosity of the story, but it doesn't erase its allure. Tesla's death ray might not have been the ultimate weapon of destruction, but its legacy as a symbol of mystery and possibility endures. And perhaps that's what Tesla would have wanted, a reminder that the pursuit of knowledge often leads us to questions we can't fully answer. Nikola Tesla's death ray is more than just a tale of a lost invention. It's a lens through which we view the profound tension between genius and power, discovery and secrecy. Was Tesla's ultimate creation a myth, a misunderstood concept, or a suppressed reality too dangerous for the world to handle? The truth, as always, remains tantalizingly out of reach. Revisiting Tesla's life, it's clear that he was a man who defied convention. His mind operated in realms few could comprehend, blending science, philosophy, and imagination in ways that often confounded his peers. But with great vision came great risk. Tesla's ideas, especially in his later years, straddled the line between groundbreaking innovation and unprovable speculation. Was the death ray the culmination of his life's work, or a warning of what might happen when humanity's reach exceeds its grasp? The mysteries surrounding Tesla's death only deepened the intrigue. The government's swift confiscation of his papers, the missing files, and the ongoing secrecy all suggest that Tesla's work was far from irrelevant. But what were they hiding? A dangerous weapon? A failed experiment? Or perhaps an idea so ahead of its time that even today it defies understanding? And then there's the question of legacy. If Tesla's death ray, or the principles behind it, has been hidden, what else might be buried in the annals of history? What other discoveries have been deemed too dangerous, too revolutionary, or too destabilizing to reveal? Tesla himself once said, "The present is theirs, the future, for which I have really worked, is mine." Was this a cryptic acknowledgement of the secrets he left behind, waiting for a world ready to understand them? Ultimately, the story of Nikola Tesla and his death ray is about more than just one man. It's about the enduring struggle between those who seek to expand the boundaries of knowledge and those who seek to control it. It's about the fear of what happens when technology advances faster than humanity's ability to wield it responsibly. And it's about the allure of mystery itself, the questions that pull us in, even when answers seem impossible to find. So where does that leave us? Perhaps Tesla's death ray was never real. Perhaps it was. The beauty of this story lies in its ambiguity, in the way it forces us to confront our deepest hopes and fears about the power of human ingenuity. Because in the end, the mystery of Nikola Tesla isn't just about a lost invention, it's about the very nature of discovery and the lengths we'll go to protect or suppress the truth. The story of Tesla's death ray remains an open book, its final chapter unwritten. But one thing is certain, as long as there are those who dream of unlocking the secrets of the universe, the legacy of Nikola Tesla will continue to inspire and haunt the world. And this, perhaps, is Tesla's ultimate triumph. To remain a man of mystery, a figure whose ideas challenge us to think, to question, and to wonder. Because the real power of Tesla's story isn't in the answers, it's in the questions he leaves behind. What else might we have lost? What else might we find? And are we ready for the answers when they come?